Good afternoon, Facebook family. This is me again for another Midday Mindset here in the UK. My name is Jason Gregory, for those of you who don't know me. So as you come on, if you just like to let me know where you're dialing in from. I know that Facebook is just out there going out and building my audience at the moment. But as you come on, just let me know where you're dialing in from. What town are you in the UK? What city are you in the UK? What country are you in if you're dialing from abroad? Guys, it's really cool to know who I'm interacting with. My apologies for those of you who don't get to your comments until after the live is finished. Don't know why that is the case. Still haven't worked it out, and I've been doing it for how many months. But guys, I'm going to be talking today about a very specific topic, and I've titled it, "Don't Throw the Baby Out with the Bathwater." So what do I mean by that? Well, I'm talking about life. Most people don't want to have a negative experience. Everybody wants to have positive experiences. But the reality is this, guys. Life is about both negative and positive. And both negative and positive experiences are the very things that shape who you are. It's the very thing that builds your character. If you never had any negative experiences, then you would never develop the muscles needed to cope with negative experiences. You would never have the capacity to help somebody else who's going through a negative experience. So we need to be able to embrace experiences, whether they're positive or negative, and more importantly, we need to learn from them. Hey Kyoni, good to see you. Hey Donna Marie, good to see you on as well. Yeah, we need to embrace these experiences, guys, because as we embrace these experiences, we're going to develop the spiritual muscles needed in order to grow so that we can cope with future experiences. Because remember, not one of us are guaranteed tomorrow. Not one of us was even guaranteed today, but we're here. So we can't take for granted the fact that everything is going to be smooth sailing tomorrow. We need to prepare ourselves so that if anything out the ordinary happens tomorrow, then we are emotionally, physically, financially, spiritually, all these things prepared to deal with them. Yeah. Unfortunately, what most people do is, because they've had a lot of negative things happen to them in the past, they close themselves off to anything that could be beneficial for them in the future. And that's why I titled this Midday Mindset, "Don't Throw the Baby Out with the Bathwater." And a lot of people are doing that. People have gone through things so that when they are presented with maybe an opportunity, or when they are presented with the ability to go and do something significant, whether or not it's getting another job, or whether or not it's going and studying a specific topic or subject, or moving to a specific university, or whatever it is that is taking them out of the norm, because of some insecurities that they have, because of some past fears that they may have, because of some negative self-talk that they may have, what they do is they dismiss it. Yeah, they dismiss it and move on to the next thing, and that means they just threw the baby out with the bathwater. Something valuable that was in the bath, they threw it out with all the dirty water. Why? Because of some insecurities. But guys, we have to understand we need to be able to evaluate things for what it is. Look at everything in the context of what that individual thing is, and not judge things based on past negative experiences. You have to have the ability to shake the dust off your feet and move on. And why is that so important? Well, if you think about this for a second, let's look at it practically. Let's say you were somewhere in the Middle East, for instance, and you were wearing sandals, and dust goes into those sandals, and all this dust goes in, and you need to move to another area where there is no dust, and you don't shake the dust off your feet. You just carry that dust with you into the new area. What happens is that dust is going to begin to rub against your feet, and as it continues to rub against your feet, it's going to turn into a sore. Yeah, and it's going to continue to rub in your feet, and then that will eventually turn into a blister. And if you don't get rid of it and you continue to do that thing, that dust is going to rub deeper and deeper and deeper into your feet until that blister turns into a wound, which then turns into something that is gangrene, which then affects your whole body, so then you have to chop off your foot. Yeah? Now, you imagine if you'd have just shaken the dust off your feet in the first place and moved on to the next area, then there would have been nothing that you would have brought from the previous area into the new area that would have caused you to eventually have to chop off your foot. And that's what happens when people can't get over past negative experiences. They bring those negative experiences into everything new that they do. And because they're not able to get rid of it or forget about it and move on, that thing affects them so much so that in their new area, it becomes completely destructive. They cannot be as productive as they need to be. They cannot develop the level of posture or confidence that they need to develop because of all the fears of the past. They cannot really get over themselves, and that's why they don't progress in the new area. And the danger is, you have people that go from job to job, from opportunity to opportunity, from course to course. And the thing is, if they're never ever changing their mindset, if they're never ever changing their attitude, then they'll just bring in all of that rubbish into all of these different areas that they're going in. Yeah, so you have to be able to shake the dust off our feet, move to a new area, move to a new thing, and begin from scratch, or basically take on board what that thing is for the value of what it is, and not what from the experiences that you've had before. See, many people suffer from MO. MO just stands for missed opportunity, yeah? And they miss the opportunity simply because of throwing the baby out with the bathwater. They judge everything on the same level, and then they just miss it. And that could have been something that could have been life-changing for them. It could have been something that could have been character building for them, but they're never ever going to experience it. It's a missed opportunity. You see, the graveyard is full of missed opportunity. Many people in the grave live their life and ended their life in the woulda, coulda, shoulda. Yeah, they would have done that, they could have done that, and they should have done that. Worst place to live, guys. You never ever want to be in a position where that is the sum total of your eulogy. Yeah, would have done that, could have done that, and should have done that. No, you don't want to do that. You want to live your life in the place where you maximize every opportunity that came to you, because you understood that time and chance happens to all of us. Yeah, and so guys, we have to take on board when we see something, do our correct due diligence in that thing. And if that thing is right for us, if that thing falls in line with our core values, if that thing falls in line with what we're trying to achieve, then we take it on board. And then we be the best we can be. We put in the effort that needs to be put in, and we build it as big as we can build it. Guys, there are so many people out there that will try to tell you that you can't do something. So your best answer for that is not to take on board their rubbish. Your best answer for that is to have massive success. That's the best form of revenge, massive success, yeah? I tell you now, indecision is the biggest killer to destiny, because people cannot make a decision to do something based out of fear. They cannot make a decision to do something because they're one of these people that are just long. You know, these people that take ages to make any kind of decision. They have no sense of urgency, yeah? And then because of that, it just drags on and drags on and drags on. And then that good intention just turns out to just always stay at that point, a good intention. It never escalates into action. Why? Because they just drag it out and drag it out. And if you drag something out long enough, then life itself is going to come in and beat you up to the stage where you can't even focus on that thing any longer. And so guys, we need to understand, indecision is the biggest killer to destiny out there. But also wrong decision. Wrong decision is a product of poor due diligence. If you are looking at anything in life, you have to do your due diligence. You have to do your research. You have to make sure that all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. And then when you've done your research and your due diligence, you're now putting yourself in a position to build something strong. You're building on a rock and not on sand. There's so many people that build on sand. So what do? Maybe they go to a business opportunity meeting and they hear a bunch of hyping messages and they get all excited and they join the business opportunity based on hype. That is building your business on sand. Maybe you go to see a course that you want to study. You haven't really looked into the different modules of the course, but you just think it looks good, so you just sign up just because of the surface appearance of the course. That's poor due diligence. Yeah, maybe you want to go and get a job somewhere. You don't do no investigation into the company, the culture of the company, the people that are going to be interviewing you or anything like that, so that when you step into that interview room, you can blow them away because of the knowledge that you have of them. And so then instead of you just selling yourself to them, they have to start selling themselves to you as well. You don't do that. You just turn up for the interview with your CV in your hand. That's poor due diligence. Yeah. understand, guys, if you do the right level of due diligence, you can go out and you can smash it. You can go out and you can do the things that you need to do, get the results that you need to get, and inspire many, many people to do the same. You see, we have to strive for excellence in this life, not just to do good. We have to strive for excellence. So many people just settle for the bare minimum, settle for mediocrity. No, life is not about mediocrity. Life is about advancing. Because think about this, if people see you advancing and they start looking up to you, all of a sudden they start seeing themselves in a position where they too can advance. So what you're doing is you're causing inspiration in other people. And when you cause inspiration in other people, you start building a following, because people want to be inspired by you, they learn from you, and they go and inspire others. Yeah? If you don't even step out and do that out of fear in the first place, then guess what you just done? You just thrown the baby out with the bathwater. Yeah? And so don't do that. Where has the baby gone? Yeah? Where has the baby gone? The baby is that valuable thing that you had in your hands for a brief moment. Yeah? But because you threw it out with the bathwater, you never see the baby grow into an adult. Guys, what have you been throwing out up until this point in your life? What have you been throwing out? What babies have you thrown out with the bathwater? Guys, it's time to start raising our children. Yeah? So go out, and if you see something that you need to be doing, go and do it after your proper due diligence. So my call to action for you today is this. Yeah? My call to action for you today is identify opportunity this week. Identify opportunity this week that you can take advantage of. Do your correct due diligence in it and go and make it happen. Just explode it, just take over and be the best you can be, and take your life, your business, your studies, whatever it is that you're doing, take it to the next level. Guys, hopefully this made sense to you. If you're willing to raise your own children and not throw the baby out with the bathwater, put a yes in the comments for me, and let's go out and make it happen. Guys, have a blessed day, and I will see you again tomorrow with another Midday Mindset. Take care. Bye.